Good morning and welcome to Supt Talk. My name is Tony Buthe, Director of Educational Services for the New Prague Area Schools. Today is Friday, November 7th, 2014, and our first episode of Supt Talk for the school year. Supt Talk is an educational show highlighting the New Prague Area Schools and what is trending within the district. Over the course of the year, our show will feature many professionals and students from the district and what is happening within their schools and departments. Supt Talk will be recorded twice a month and will air on the New Prague TV Access channel and also the New Prague School District website. And now I would like to introduce Mr. Dittberner, our Superintendent of New Prague Schools. Good morning, Mr. Dittberner.
Good morning.
We are so excited to bring Supt Talk to our community and schools, and we welcome you to our show. Mr. Dittberner, before we begin with our two guests today, I wonder if we could start out with a little update from you on how the school year has begun for everyone.
Well, thank you, Tony. I think we got off to a really good start. We had results come in from our state testing from last spring on the MCAs, and pleased to announce for math and reading and science, we were actually the top school district amongst we were in the top 10 in the entire state. As far as surrounding neighboring school districts, we were number one. And just when we compare it to 10 like demographic school districts, we came in number one also. So it was an excellent start to the year, so it was fun to celebrate that. It's been a lot on the facilities. We've opened up the new Trojan Stadium. That's been a great success. It was fun opening up that stadium and having the community see everything, and we think that went very well, and it's finally completed now. And we're in the midst right now of a facility study, the last one done in 2008, so we're taking a look at what our needs are. So we've got a 34-member community task force taking a look at just the information that we have right now on a demographic study that was done, a facility analysis, and really prioritizing what our greatest needs are, not wants, our needs are. And they're going to be making a recommendation here to our school board probably by the end of November, beginning of December, and so we have some direction to go from there.
Mr. Dittberner, what does our enrollment look like compared to last year?
We're up about 2%. Actually, a little bit more over our projections. We're about 20 students over that what we projected to be, but we're increasing a little bit. And we have been for the last 5-6 years. I think our increase every year has been about just over a percentage point or a 1.5%.
Okay, thank you. Welcome back, everyone, to Supt Talk. And I would like to introduce our first guest for today, Director of Technology Integration, Mr. Shawn Brandt.
Morning, Tony.
Good morning, Shawn. We thank you very much for being on the show with us today. And there's been a lot going on within the area and the Department of Technology. So we're here to find out what's going on within the school district and specifically some of our schools. Shawn, could you please first tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you got into this position?
Sure. Well, I've been a middle school technology education teacher for 9 years. And then about 10 years ago, took on the position of technology integration specialist here in the school district. And a couple of years ago, became the director of that department.
Okay.
Shawn, how is, looking at the last 10 years, how has technology really changed education? As you look at it from being a former classroom teacher, as you're going into your position now that you're in charge of teaching teachers, and how to use technology as a teaching tool or learning tool?
Sure. Well, first of all, the internet has probably been the biggest change that has happened to education and probably our society as we look at technology, just because of the access to information. You know, in the past, it was a textbook in the classroom and the teachers' experiences and their knowledge, but now, you know, teachers and students have so much, just a vast array of information at their fingertips.
Let's talk about how have teachers used technology to help students learn?
Well, I would say probably the biggest push has been the 21st century learning skills, which kind of involve things about communication, collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. With those 21st century skills, technology just provides a lot of opportunities that teachers and students didn't have before. Like, for example, our Google Apps for Education provide tools for teachers and students that allow them to hit on those different skills of 21st century learning. Another example would be our Powerful Learning Initiative, which we started this year at the high school, which provides students with a Chromebook to use both in school and out of school, so they have better access to those tools that they need in the classroom.
Well, let's talk also about the implementation. What's the plan or the long-term plan as we go through here? You talked, it's called a Powerful Learning Initiative, our plan is, and we rolled out the one-to-one initiative with Chromebooks for the high school students in grades 9 through 12. What are we looking at in the next couple of years?
Sure. Well, that's just the first year of our 3-year plan. And so we started this year at the high school, like I said, providing Chromebooks for every student and teacher in the high school. Next year, we'll be providing that same access to our middle school students and teachers. And then in our 3rd year, it won't be students taking home the devices as much in the elementary school, but what it will involve will be increasing that access so that those pre-K through 5th grade students and teachers still have that same level of access to information in their classrooms.
So as you monitor these plans, what do you see in the foreseeable future then after those 3 years? Is it something that you're just going to monitor as we go here, or we've got Chromebooks at the high school right now? What's the sort of the long term for the plan there? We're going to be updating after a couple more years?
Sure. Yep. So that was one of the reasons why we decided to go into a lease with the Chromebooks versus purchasing them. Technology changes so fast that we didn't want to be tied into a technology that 5 years from now may not be up to date. So the lease provides us the ability to kind of be more flexible with our plan and to make adjustments along the way.
Shawn, one of the last questions here, but if we had 3 students sitting on our panel today, specifically from the high school, what do you think we would hear from them as far as the Chromebooks, how they're working, how they're benefiting their education within the high school?
Sure. Well, I would say probably the first benefit that they would talk about would be access. We're pretty lucky here in New Prague. We've got families that had access at home, but a lot of times it maybe meant 1 or 2 computers in the household. And when you have 3 students that might be coming home and parents that need access to those computers, it was constantly a scheduling nightmare in the household trying to decide when the parents could get their work done, when family members could get their homework done. So access would be the first thing that kids would come back and say. Another thing that students like is they like that the device itself. It's light, easy to carry. And they like working, without getting too technical or anything, but they like working out of the cloud versus working in a software application.
So for our teachers, we have professional development activities, which you can maybe touch on a little bit. As parents and students, if they do have some questions or some technology questions on how their apparatus works, or if they have any difficulties, who should they contact?
Sure. Well, the first thing would be our website has a lot of information for both parents and students about the Powerful Learning Program. So our frequently asked questions page can answer a lot of their questions. If they're having any trouble with the device itself, the student can go to the Media Center at the high school for assistance. And then, of course, my contact information is also on the website, so they can feel free to give me a call at any time.
All right. Well, Shawn, it's been a pleasure to have you here today, and it's some very good information and a little direction on where we're headed here. I think it's been very informative. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shawn. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you very much, Mr. Brandt, for being on our show today. And now our second guest is Mrs. Becky Valek. She is a high school guidance counselor who specifies in college and career readiness. We put some props out earlier today, as you can maybe see, of where our schools, colleges are from for the panel. Mr. Dittberner is a Gustavus graduate, myself a Northern State University graduate from Aberdeen, South Dakota, and Mr. Brandt had the Bemidji Beavers. I'd like to welcome Miss Becky Valek. And Becky, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you maybe went to school.
Okay. I went to school at UW River Falls and got my bachelor's and my master's degree there. And I have lived in New Prague Area School District for the last 11 years and have 3 children.
Okay, and this is your first year at the New Prague High School, correct?
Yes, it is.
All right, Becky, and then your 3 children are at what grades? Grade levels?
10th grade, 4th grade, 2nd grade.
All right.
At Falcon Ridge.
Falcon Ridge. All right, awesome. Well, we hear a lot, and I think people read in the paper, hear about through the media, college and career readiness. Why don't you talk just a little bit about what college and career readiness, some of the initiatives we're doing right now to help support kids to be ready for college and career. I know one of the programs we've got going right now is that we've committed to is Naviance. And parents might hear about this, but can you tell us what it is and how we're using it as a district or with the students?
Yeah. Naviance is a web-based program that helps students with college and career readiness by providing them with career tools such as career interest inventories, personality type tests, and then gives them careers that might match those interests and personality. And then it also takes it another step further and gives them colleges that might have those college majors or careers that they can prepare for. Okay.
Now we start some of this, I know you're also working with the middle school. So what are some things, there are things besides Naviance, any other tests or assessments we're using to help prepare students for?
The students in 8th grade will take the Explore test this year, which is the 8th grade version of the ACT, and that will give them information on subjects such as reading, English, math, science, and help them see if they're college ready in those areas. And if they're not, they will get information on what they can do to better prepare themselves for college. And then they also will do a career interest inventory in the Explore test also. Okay.
So a lot of changes there as we talk about college career readiness. But we also have a new law mandated by the state legislature last spring is the ACT now. It has to be, it's mandatory. All juniors must take the ACT. So what can you share with us on that, just the process, the information, and how will we use it?
So all juniors will take the ACT during the school day on Tuesday, April 28th. And they have been provided with information through Naviance on how they can prepare for that test. There's an ACT prep program in Naviance. So juniors have been given that information. So hopefully they will use that to help them prepare for the test. And then once we get those results, we can help them see what they might want to improve on as far as the academic areas. And then again, they can use the interest inventory to help them guide as far as careers that they might be interested in.
Becky, when the juniors take the ACT, where are their scores sent? Are they sent to a college for the students, or is it specifically sent just back to the New Prague schools?
They can be sent both places. If a student chooses to have them sent to a college, they can indicate what colleges they want them to be sent to, and then we will also receive those scores too, so that we can use that to help guide our programs at the high school.
Okay. Now you reflect, I mean, we're about 9 weeks into the year here. You reflect, what are some of the things, how's the first 9 weeks gone? Let's just talk about that, your job for a second. I know there's been a lot thrown at you with the changes that I've made at the state level.
It's been a lot of fun. I've gone into classrooms with juniors talking about ACT and Naviance. In the next couple of weeks, I'm going into classrooms to talk to 9th graders, get them introduced to Naviance and the Career Interest Profiler so that they can start looking at their interests and what careers might benefit them or interest them based on the interests. And I've also started meeting individually with seniors. I've met with about half of the seniors so far, just kind of helping them make sure they have a plan, and if they don't, helping them figure out what careers might interest them, and then helping them find colleges.
Okay, great. How about any other future goals you might have that you want implemented or to achieve, I should say, for career and college planning for students?
I would like to continue working with Naviance more often and earlier, so for sure starting with 9th graders and then helping them use that information to have a career fair or a career day here at the high school, and also taking juniors to a college fair so that they can kind of be exposed to different colleges earlier.
Becky, kind of a last question. Is a little bit off the beaten path here, but this is kind of for parents also. I know the high school has a lot of colleges, technical schools, military come into the school on a daily basis, whether it's University of Minnesota, Duluth, Bemidji, Northern, Gustavus, to visit with kids. Kind of for parents out there, what do students have to do to go visit and get information with those colleges or technical schools or military as they come in? What does that look like for a junior boy or girl if they would like to visit Gustavus when they come in?
All of the college visits are announced on our morning broadcast that it happens daily. They're also put in Naviance, so if a student has Gustavus in their list of colleges that they're applying to or thinking about, once we put that college visit into Naviance, it sends them an email and tells them, hey, you're interested in Gustavus and they're coming to see us. Then students just need to go to myself in the Upper Media Center or the guidance office and receive a pass to go visit with that college.
Well, that's wonderful, and things have definitely been automated in that area also. Beats looking at the billboard like I'm sure Mr. Dittberner and I did years ago. So we would like to thank Mrs. Becky Valek and congratulate her on her first 9 weeks at New Prague Schools. She has a lot going on in the college and career area. Her contact information is on the website if anybody feels that they would need to visit with her a little bit. But we thank you very much for your time today, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. As we finish up our first Supt Talk of the 2014-2015 school year, I would like to thank our guests, Mrs. Becky Valek and Mr. Shawn Brandt, for their time today. And Superintendent Dittberner, I would like to offer you the opportunity to bring some closing remarks to our first Supt Talk.
Well, I think it was nice having Becky and Shawn here. It's just, for us to do this, I think it's important because it's another mode of communication to let people know what's going on with New Prague schools. Just on a final note, right now, I mentioned earlier about the facility study. We are entering the late stages of our planning there. We're having meetings. We have a 34-member task force. They've met 4 times. We've got 2 more meetings scheduled, one tonight and one two weeks from today. And hopefully looking at options for finding out what our future facility needs are. And then through the process there, after the 6th meeting, they'll be able to make a recommendation to the school board on what they feel the facility needs are, and then we'll take it from there. So it's been a very good process and a very important part of our school district.
If anyone wanted to look, Mr. Dittberner, at the notes or the upcoming agenda for those meetings, are they on the school district website?
Yep, everything's on the school district website. All the information is there, the minutes, agenda, things, I believe the demographic report that was done last spring that they're using as they analyze our needs. So everything's on there. So,
well, nothing's ever boring within the New Prague Area School District, and that sounds like a wonderful opportunity for people to take a look at that, and more information will be coming. That brings us to the end of the first Supt Talk for the school year. We would like to thank our guests. We would like to thank Mr. Dittberner for his time, and we will see everyone in 2 weeks.